Bum-ba-da-dum! Howdy, welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. I'm Banjo Ben, your humble host here on the website that teaches you how to play banjo, mandolin. This week is guitar. This week is a killer lesson because I'm going to hone in on the basic building blocks that it takes to learn how to build solos and to improvise. Everybody wants to know how to do this, but everybody thinks it's just going to come naturally. Well, it does for some people, but for me, it didn't. And for most people, it doesn't. You have to be intentional about it. So this is why this is such an important lesson. We're going to take, she'll be coming around the mountain. We're going to learn how to find the basic melody to it and then add on more and more stuff to make the solo more and more robust. You're going to see how I go about building solos and improvising. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, here in a moment, I'll ask you to come over to the website, BanjoBenClark.com. You can join as a Gold Pick member, and that gives you access to all my videos. You can view them all. There's hundreds of them. I do a new one each and every week. And then also all the tabs and MP3 rhythm tracks. I have the tabs for this, and also 3 different speeds of MP3 rhythm tracks that you can download, practice, and I'm going to show you how to practically build solos on your own, not only for this song, but how to apply it to other songs as well. Let's jump right in. Everyone wants to learn how to play melodies and tunes on their guitar, and then eventually build solos for those and improvise. And so I want to give you some of those basic building blocks that you're going to need to do that. And you'll be able to apply these to any song out there. But we're going to use a very common basic melody. She'll be coming around the mountain to learn these foundational building blocks just to make it a little easier. Now, whenever I'm getting ready to do this, there's a few prerequisite questions that I ask myself, even when I'm doing it on the fly. First one's pretty obvious. Which key are we in? Now, today we're going to be in the key of G. That's just the one that I've chosen, good old bluegrass key. Second question I'm going to ask myself is which chords are played during the song and when do they change? I want to be familiar with that. Now this song is pretty simple. It's in the key of G, as I mentioned, and it only has 3 chords. It's got that G chord, it also has a C chord, and it has a D chord. And of course they change at different times, but I've got that kind of going on in the back of my mind. If I don't know that, I can look it up online and figure that out. The third question I'm going to ask myself is, do I know my scale? I know a lot of you get kind of apprehensive when you talk about scales, but we need to know our major scales, and we only need to know really one for this song. Okay, we need to know our G major scale because that's the key that we're in. So just ask yourself, do I know the major scale of the key that I'm in? If you don't know your G major scale, you can just take a little time out and go watch my G major scale lesson here on the website. Print out that tab and you can have it as a reference there as we work through this one and build some licks. Okay, now let's throw up our first line of tab. We'll save us a little time here and I'll show you what the basic melody is for this song. There's a couple things that you'll notice here on the tab. One is I've got the words beneath each one of these melody notes. And then also, since we're doing just this basic melody, and all the notes happen on downbeats, we have all down strokes. That's what those little black arrows are beneath the notes. Later on, as we start beefing it up, we'll get into some upstrokes. Okay, so this basic melody is going to start on the 2nd fret of this 5th string. Now, let's start building upon this basic melody now that you've got grips on it, okay? So let's throw that next line of tab up here. One thing you'll notice right off the bat is that we have some eighth notes in there. It's not all quarter notes. And that's the first thing I'm going to do to kind of start expanding on this melody and making it more robust. I'm going to start adding some eighth notes, adding some beats, some notes on the upbeats. But not necessarily outside the melody, not yet. I'm just going to simply double play some of my melody notes. That's all I'm doing. Here's my two main objectives. One is to stay within the scale, okay, until, later on when we get more advanced, we can get outside the scale and get into blues notes and things like that. Here's the other thing I'm thinking about. I want to come back to land on the melody note at the end. Okay, I don't want to leave it somewhere. Not right now while we're learning. So my melody note for comes is right there, that G string. So I can go wherever I want, but I need to come back to this G string. And so one way that I'm going to do that is I'm just going to go up the scale and come back down. So comes, and then I'm going to walk up the scale, boom, 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 and back down. And then I've got a little bit more time left, so I'm just going to go back up to that second fret and back down. Then you apply the same technique. Go back through it and just start playing multiple melody notes. Some glad morning when this life is old, I'll fly away. Just start adding more notes. You don't have to get outside the melody. The more that you do this and pick different songs and start doing them, the faster you'll get at this. And this is how people learn how to improvise and do stuff on the fly. Here's another challenge for you. Take She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain. Do the same thing, but in the key of C. Okay? So then your three chords would be C, F,